It seems too good to be true to only pay $1,700 for a dirt bike, especially when you have companies like RAR, Talaria, and Suron charging $3,000 up to $5,000. Yet Riding Times has done it with the GT73. That cost $1,700. And they can do that because, well, this is not a dirt bike. I mean, yes, it has the same look and design and feel as a dirt bike. It's got similar suspension that you would see on dirt bikes. It's got dirt bike tires, and the weight of this is heavy enough to be considered a dirt bike. What we have here is a dirt bike frame on an e-bike body. Now, before I dive into all that stuff, I want to talk just a little bit about this company. And there's really not a lot to tell you, other than that these guys started in 2006 back in New Jersey, which I think is just a warehouse or something, because I'm pretty sure that the base of the company is in China. And on their website, they have 3 vehicles. They got another cool looking bike, and then they got this scooter that you can take off the wheels and put tracks on and drive it in the snow. I think I need to try that out one of these days. All right, so why do I say that this is a dirt bike frame on an e-bike body? I say that because when you put the kickstand up, sit your tushy down, turn the bike on, switch it to turbo mode, and then pull back on the full twist throttle, the acceleration is more like an e-bike. Pretty tame off the line, which, you know, does make sense when you consider the size of the motor. Now, that's pretty big for an e-bike. Most e-bikes typically have around a 750 watt, but the big difference is the weight. Most e-bikes are weighing about 75 pounds. This one is 116 pounds, so that's 40 pounds more than your typical e-bike. So yes, it has a more powerful motor, but it's got a lot more weight to haul. And so when it comes to a fast acceleration, hold on, let me get set. You really don't have one. But what about speed? And that's 35 miles per hour. Now that took me 4.5 blocks to hit 35 miles per hour. Now that's close to a dirt bike speed, but definitely an e-bike acceleration. Now the biggest reason why I say this is an e-bike and not a dirt bike is because of its hill climbing ability. Oh, yep. On a dirt bike, I should easily be able to make it up this first hill, flatten out, yeah, that's it, and then go all the way to the top. Whew, that is steep. The second biggest thing of why this is more of an e-bike than a dirt bike is because it has this right there, some pedals. A true dirt bike doesn't have pedals, and even a true motorbike doesn't have pedals. And the reason why I say motorbike is because that's the official name of this. It's called the GT73 electric motorbike. Riding Times, it may be time to make a change with the name anyways, or take those pedals off. The choice is yours. Now, just like an e-bike, those pedals do give you power when you pedal. And on turbo mode, you can go as fast pedaling as you can when you're just using the throttle. Now, if you look up here in the cockpit, you'll notice that there's no gears. Left side is just the control pad, but moving over, all you have is just the full twist throttle. When I asked AI again for some rider feedback of, people who have ridden this vehicle before and the things they had to say, it told me that that was one of the things that they didn't like. They didn't like that it was just a single speed bike. But moving back into the cockpit here, let me just run over a few things. First off, I like the grips. They feel nice. They're locked on there nice and tight. You do have hydraulic brakes, and these are my favorite types of brakes because when you turn this, you can adjust the play in the lever. Boop, 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 boop. A little bit. Turn it the other way, and you got a lot more play. And the right side controls the rear, the left side the front. And I do like the size of the rotor. They made these a little bit bigger than your standard e-bike rotors. And you do need that because this is heavier than your standard e-bike by 40 pounds. Anyways, back to the control pad. There is a headlight and shoots on a very bright headlight. I do like that. I just think that's pretty cool. Like casing there, this opens up. Then it's got a tail light. When you hit the brake levers, a secondary light comes on. If the bike's been sitting for about 15-20 seconds, it goes into park mode. And in that mode, you can't roll the bike back, right? But you can roll it forward, which is kind of funny. I don't know why they did that. To take it out of park mode, you have to hold the brake lever and hit power. And of course, the screen isn't fidgety like it is showing up on my camera, but it is a color screen. If you hit the M button right here, I have no idea what that does because nothing changes. The S is the speed mode. So you hit that, you got eco, standard, and turbo. Then you got a horn. And then below that, you got turn signals. It beeps, I do like that, and it shows up there in the tail light. Moving back to the saddle, that's pretty much what you can expect for a dirt bike. That is over 2 feet long. And then this back part here is kicking out, little fin there that's flexible, it's fun. You can put a license plate on it. You got a tube frame design. You have 2 batteries. You can turn them on and off. There's the first one, here's the second one. And they give a range rating of around 60 to over 100 miles. All depends on how you ride it.
What's that?
Do you want to take it for a spin?
No, thank you. Walking is more safe for me.
More safe for me as well. This is full suspension, that is hydraulic. I'm not sure what the travel is on that. I couldn't find that. And you can't lock it out. It's blocked on both sides. And then in the rear, there's a spring suspension. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best suspension. Holy moly. Jeez. But if you did want to venture off-road, you do have some dirt bike tires. I mean, that tread on there is what you find on a lot of dirt bikes. As far as the ride and feel, it feels pretty good and sounds pretty good until I hit the motor. You got that buffeting motor noise kicking in. And that's one of the biggest tells, again, that this is more of an e-bike than a dirt bike, because that is your classic e-bike motor noise. Okay guys, well that's the Riding Times GT73. This is the first e-bike that I've seen like this. And as far as design and style, like I mentioned before, I think it's pretty cool. But for performance, when you're looking at it as an e-bike rather than a dirt bike, it's actually a pretty good bike. Top speed of 35 miles per hour. It is full suspension, and it has a ton of clearance if you did want to venture off-road, for you brave souls out there. For an e-bike, it's actually got a pretty good acceleration. The range is fantastic. If you want to check this out, I've got the link in the description. As always, I appreciate you guys hopping on here and checking out my content, and I'll see you on the next one. Brake, power, go.